Fear is older than language, older than tools, older than the idea of being human. Before we had words for danger, we had reactions. Before we had stories about monsters, we had nervous systems that assumed they were real. The word phobia comes from the Greek phobos, panic, flight, terror. Not weakness, not irrationality, just a signal. Some fears are learned, but some feel pre installed. The fear of heights, the fear of sudden movement in the dark, the fear of being watched, the fear of isolation. These are not random glitches in psychology, they are patterns. And patterns usually mean history. A human being standing at the edge of a cliff today is not very different from one standing there 50,000 years ago. The drop still means gravity. Gravity still means impact. Impact still means death. The body does not update itself because civilization did. But here is something strange. We are rarely afraid of what statistically harms us the most. Cars kill more people than spiders. Processed food kills more people than predators. Chronic stress kills more people than darkness ever did. And yet, very few people feel instinctive dread walking past a fast food sign. Very few feel primal terror entering a highway. Fear is not calibrated to statistics. It is calibrated to ancestral survival. There is a theory in evolutionary psychology that the human fear system is biased towards false positives. It is better to mistake wind in the grass for a predator than to ignore a predator and die. If you panic unnecessarily, you lose energy. If you fail to panic when you should, you lose existence. So, evolution favored overreaction. Paranoia was adaptive, which means a phobia is not an error. It is an overprotective algorithm. Take fear of the dark. Darkness historically meant loss of visual control. Predators hunt at night. Rival tribes attack at night. Accidents happen at night. Even now, children across cultures show discomfort in darkness without being taught to fear it. That consistency is not cultural coincidence. It is biological inheritance. The same pattern appears with snakes. Even infants show faster visual detection of snake-like shapes compared to neutral shapes, as if the brain has a shortcut, a template, a preloaded alert system. And then there are strange fears. Cluster of small holes, open oceans, mirror in dim light, abandoned buildings, large empty spaces, being buried alive, being trapped, being excluded. When reduced to their core, many phobias are about vulnerability, loss of control, exposure, isolation, loss of agency. Phobias are rarely about the object itself. They are about what the object represents. Fear of flying is rarely about altitude. It is about surrendering control. Fear of public speaking is rarely about sound. It is about social evaluation. Fear of deep water is rarely about water. It is about unseen depth. And unseen depth has always been dangerous. But evolution did not stop. The world changed faster than our nervous system could adapt. Technology evolved in centuries. Biology evolves in millennia. And now something interesting is happening. New fears are emerging: fear of missing out, fear of being digitally forgotten, fear of losing internet access, fear of artificial intelligence replacing human roles, fear of algorithms shaping reality. These are not ancient predators, they are modern abstractions. Yet, the body reacts the same way: sweaty palms, elevated heart rate, catastrophic thinking. The mechanism is identical, only the trigger has changed. And this raises a more unsettling question. If our system is ancient code, what happens when it encounters problems it was never designed to solve? A hunter gatherer brain trying to process infinite information streams, a tribal nervous system trying to survive global social comparison, a survival mechanism designed for physical threats trying to handle existential ones. Fear of infinity, fear of cosmic insignificance, fear of artificial consciousness. These are not predators in tall grass. They are conceptual abysses. There is another question buried inside all of this. How do we know when fear is protecting us and when it is misfiring? If fear kept our ancestors alive, it deserves respect. But if fear is responding to shadows in a world without predators, it can imprison us. And yet, even so-called irrational fears often contains symbolic truth. Fear of abandonment reflects the evolutionary reality that isolation once meant death. Fear of social rejection reflects the reality that belonging meant survival. Fear of being watched reflects a history where visibility meant vulnerability. The body remembers what the conscious mind forgets. There is also the question of why certain animals developed complex fear systems at all. Why do some species exhibit anxiety-like behaviors while others do not? Why did intelligence scale unevenly across evolution? Why humans? Why not others? Some animals show caution, some show learning, but the human capacity for abstract fear is unusual. We can fear things that do not yet exist. We can fear possibilities. We can fear ideas. We can fear the future. That ability is tied to imagination, and imagination is tied to survival. To simulate danger before it happens is an advantage. But simulation has no natural stopping point. It can spiral. Which means the same trait that allowed humans to dominate the planet also allowed humans to suffer in uniquely complex ways. There were other hominin species once: Neanderthals, Denisovans, others we barely understand. They had tools, they had fire, they likely had social structures. Did they experience phobias? Did they stand at cliffs and feel vertigo? Did they feel darkness the same way? There is no record of their internal worlds. But fear systems evolve for survival, not for storytelling. If they survived harsh environments, they likely had similar alarms. And if fear is a survival program, then every extinct species carried its own version of ancient code. Some codes failed, ours did not, at least not yet. Perhaps the most unsettling possibility is this: our fear system might not be optimized for the future we are building. We are creating technologies that operate faster than instinct, artificial systems that make decisions without emotion, global networks that alter perception at scale, artificial systems that make decisions without emotion, global networks that alter perception at scale. Yet our bodies still react to shadows, still panic at silence, still dread exclusion. The mismatch is widening, and so phobias become signals, not of weakness, but of misalignment between biology and environment, between ancient code and modern complexity. The question is not how to eliminate fear. Fear is foundational. The question is whether we can update it, whether awareness can recalibrate instinct, whether understanding evolution changes the experience of fear, or whether we remain organisms running inherited software in a world that no longer resembles the one that taught it. Phobias are not random, they are fossils, living fossils inside the nervous system, fragments of ancient landscapes, echoes of predators that no longer exist, memories of threats we survived often enough to encode. Every irrational fear has a lineage, a chain of ancestors who reacted quickly enough, who survived long enough, who passed the signal forward. Fear feels personal, but it is collective, it is historical, it is evolutionary. And perhaps the most important realization is this: if fear is ancient code, then understanding it is not about eliminating it. It is about recognizing what kind of world we were built for and what kind of world we are entering. Because one day, the threats we face may not resemble anything in our evolutionary memory. And when that happens, instinct may not be enough. Phobias are not irrational, they are inherited. And inheritance does not ask whether the world has changed, it simply continues. And that may be the most unsettling part.